Welcome back. Today we have this doubleheader, and we're breaking down the Jonathan Frakes directed season penultimate episode of Starfleet Academy, 300th Night. While the cadets celebrate their chosen family with a Klingon bond ritual, an apocalyptic nightmare returns. Omega 47. As this synthetic particle threatens to end warp travel forever, Caleb faces a deep psychological crisis. Loyalty to Starfleet or the mother he thought was lost in the Mondovi system. It's a tug of war between duty and blood that ends with the Federation in the box and the Athena trapped alone on the outside. Let's dive in. Oh yeah, break down today's episode title.
Woo! Okay. 300th night. So this title pretty much centers around the culmination of a first quote unquote successful semester with the cadets at Starfleet Academy. And so everybody is kind of either going to supposed to be going to Metazoid, or whatever. And so everybody's pretty much supposed to be in a celebratory place because of all the success that they've had, but things kind of go very left.
Okay. All right. So we were treated with seeing the Klingon bond ritual. Can you describe for us what happened during this particular bond ritual?
First of all, I love this. I really, really enjoyed this episode as well as the one before. But I love the fact that this, the way in which they entered this episode with this Klingon ritual, kind of shows the growth and the lack of growth for some of the cadets, or just ultimate changes, or evolving or devolving. So there was a lot going on in this scene. So Jaden, our passive and not so passive all at the same time Klingon, is he's lost a brother, but he has chosen these cadets to be part of his family. And so I love the fact that they are all, well, for the most part anyway, willing participants to become a part of this family and ultimately just be family to each other, because they didn't all enter in the same way or have the same background. And so he's on this chalice with whatever this weird drink is from the Klingons, and kind of a ritualistic type behavior, reciting this phrase. And I was into it. I was really, really into it. And we got to see how some of the cadets, namely Genesis and my Kyonian friend, Darum,
Um,
without hesitation, you know, hey, yes, we're down for it. We would love to find being family, because we know we are now, but we're doing this ritual practice to make it so. But then, but with Sam, she didn't really hesitate to do it, but she was just like, oh, I don't drink anything. Like, obviously, I'm a hologram, but she still did it. But when it got to Caleb, he conveniently excused himself. And so at that time, we kind of alluded to it in the previous episode. We also kind of see how Sam has changed. But there was a lot happening in this scene.
okay. Okay. All right. All right. And what did it made you? Okay. What did you learn about Caleb as a character because of that particular scene?
So with Caleb, I learned that at least, first of all, he showed up. So whereas in the end that he did not, drink or say the ritualistic words, even though he didn't do that, I still saw growth, simply because one, he showed up. He showed up, he is still kind of warring in himself, because it's like you could tell he wanted to do it. Of course, he did his little typical dick move and smelled it and all of that and made a face. But it's like within that moment, there was contemplation. Like, you actually thought about it instead of it being a knee jerk no. And so, whereas it's like initially you might think like, dang, I know he's not going to do it. He's going to be a butthole, but he's evolved. He 100% has evolved, because instead of being a lone wolf, He actually wants family. He wants community, but he's still struggling because for some reason he feels like he's going to be disloyal to his mom or to his overall reason that he even came there in the first place.
Okay. All right. All right. So, speaking of Caleb and his mom, how did Caleb manage to receive messages from his mother after 2 years without Starfleet detecting?
So that there was an encryption. So obviously his mom is like this complete genius when it comes to these encryptions, and that's kind of where he gets it from. But it was encrypted in such a way that only he could unlock it. And so I love the fact that they used Sam to kind of help him work through like how he could find his mom more so than him being a loner and trying to figure it out all on his own. She kind of helped him stumble into it, so to speak. And so using a phrase that only he would know as a kid, as opposed to grown up Caleb, who's acquired even more knowledge, it was more simple than you thought.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So a little bit later in the episode, it comes to a point when the cadets find out from Caleb's mom that Caleb plans to leave with her, right? And it seemed like it, at least for me, it seemed like he was trying to push them away so that they could leave, and so that he could leave with his mom. Um, During that confrontation, Caleb says a number of different things. First, to Genesis, he says some very harsh things about her, who she is, and how she will never measure up to her dad. What were your thoughts about that? Also, what he also told what what was his name, Darren. Who Durham is, and he said, I had you figured out since the beginning. What were those things, and how did those hurtful things impact those characters?
So deflection, deflection. And so that on top of him in his own way trying to save them, and just not have them sacrifice themselves, potentially trying to convince him to come back. It was him pushing them away and showing love in his very backwards design way. Um, and so I understood when he did it, what he was doing. Like, I just want them to leave. I want them to forget about me. I knew what my mission was from day one. We forged these not just friendships, but we're family now. And here we are. I found my mom. I don't want them to try to convince me to stay. So I know that if I go off and I offend them with these things that are going to hurt them to the core, this will force them, because what I've learned about just the different individuals and where to stick the knife, I know exactly what to say to get them to shut down. And so I feel like he thought he was being strategic, but Sam, Sam had him pegged. She really did. And so um I feel like he struck a nerve with the other two purposely, you know, but ultimately, like I said, Sam had him figured out. Like, okay, I see what you're doing.
And so, what did Sam do?
Sam, when he tried to go in on her, Sam just hugged him. She just hugged him. She gave him affection.
She says you full of bullshit.
Yeah,
Full of bullshit. This is,
like literally said it. Yes,
uh,
absolutely. Like, and
so is that something that Sam would have done prior to the episode before, or would
I don't
she have just like quietly taken it?
I don't think she would have said that. Um, but as far as hugging him, showing affection as well, no, because the way in which she was programmed is just kind of very straightforward and straight laced, or she would have probably called attention to his heartbeat or something crazy like that. I'm getting some weird signs of while he's saying whatever. So it would have probably been that as opposed to, you know, just hugging him and like, yeah, this is BS.
All right, so let's go towards the beginning of the episode. Why does Sam insist on joining Caleb's unsanctioned mission despite the 99% chance of failure?
Sam needs to feel. Sam needs to live on the edge and have a front row seat. Not just a front row seat, be a participant in humanity. And she's been programmed. So, what do I want most? I want to feel. I want to be as close to human as possible. And so, everybody has had a say in my development and how things should go for me. No, I'm going to make a decision on my own, not what I was programmed to do. I'm going off script, I'm going in. And so, for her, it was just the ultimate moment of defiance. I'm going to go off script. And so I feel like she needed that.
All right. So when Caleb finally meet, by the way, when Caleb meets his mom, oh my God. Number one, she had a knife to his throat. Number two, all he just kept saying, "Mom, mom, 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 mom," and I just started crying. I was just like, because I put myself in his shoes, and I was just like, what would I have done? You know what I'm saying? And the realization on her face of who he was, like what did you think in that moment? What was going on?
So for me, and I off camera, this was a very emotional, in which these last two, this one in particular, very emotional episode. Um, which I was wondering if they would at all even bring his mom in before we got to the last episode of the season. But at any rate, um, it's just the chaos that's going on the planet that they're on. And then, how, like you said, she has a knife to his throat, and then they realize they lock eyes, and just the whole view of how everything is going on was very, very emotion driven. And so I'm glad that they finally brought Anissa in. Um but I was relieved and I was scared at the same time, because what is about to happen? Okay, we don't just bring in, this character that we've been searching for since like episode 1, and now we've reintroduced them to each other. Your child is now an adult male as opposed to a 6-year-old boy, without some drama being behind it. So I got scared, like, oh my God, how is this gonna go? Is she gonna get killed instantly? Is everybody gonna die? Like, what is gonna happen? Are they gonna Game of Thrones us? Like, what's gonna happen here? So yeah.
So according to Caleb's mom, how did she escape her prison sentence, and who made contact with her to facilitate it?
Oh my God, News freaking Baraka. News Baraka had his hands all up and in through this situation, and so she said she never trusted him basically in the first place. I can't remember the exact exchange about how the escape happened, but I know it had something to do with News Baraka trying to strike a deal or do something, but she swerved him.
Yeah, basically, she said she had, I don't remember the exact years. I'm going to say she had 20 more years left on her sentence. And he approached her, and she was just like, I might as well. She escaped with him, but as soon as they got wherever it was they got, she left him, and that's how she got on her own. I thought, you know what I thought was great in that particular moment. He thought, meaning Caleb, he thought enough to like kind of question his mom, like, what's going on? Like, yeah, you my mom. I know you my mom, but whose side are you on? And I like, you got to tell me whose side are you on right now. And I was like, oh, your boy is no fool.
Right, because you got to imagine him being, first of all, being able to escape as a 6-year-old the way in which he did. Clever, right? But he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. And so was right on brand. Now, okay, like basically you're kind of a stranger to me now, so I do need to ask these questions.
All right, so let's get into some of the technical and scientific things that we've learned in this particular episode. What specific technical trick, and I thought this was so brilliant, even though we didn't get to see it happen. What technical trick, did the cadets use to evade the internal sensors in airlock B of the Athena?
Wait, so they they turned it up. Wait, they changed the pressure of something.
Of the airlock. Of the
Yes,
airlock.
to go undetected. So they knew, okay, we're gonna be scanning for bodies, making sure nobody's on here. To basically be stowaways in the Athena because it's a mission. Our family / friends are out there. We coming too. Jaden got his skirt on. The beta's on. She there. She's ready. So I thought that was very, very clever of them. We finished our 300th day. We ready. We've been put in all kind of compromising situations already. Why not? These are people we love and care about. So they were so pissed. They being IK.
IK was like, that's a program flaw.
She said there's a what?
She said that's a programming flaw. It's a flaw in the programming.
Like we gotta tighten up.
Yeah. Like she was so pissed off, but her brain just went to the technical, like real quick.
And then she was cool. Like, where is the nearest place we can warp them to? What's the closest? It don't even matter. Just drop them off. I'm so pissed off with them. Nowhere. You can't.
Okay, another question. All right, so the cadets were able to reach the planet faster than the Athena, right? So they're on a shuttlecraft, right? Shuttles don't go as fast as the starships, right? So how is it that they were able to get to the planet before the Athena was able to get there?
So do you recall? I don't want to say a wormhole, but basically one of those little I can't remember the name, but wormhole is the only term that is coming to my
transit tunnels.
Yes. Okay. So they were able to they were knowledgeable enough to know that, hey, these happen ever so often, and if we're going to do this, we need to go right now because one is coming up. And so they were able to travel there in minutes versus what would have taken them hours and hours to do. So.
All right, another technical scientific question. What critical ship maneuver does the captain order when the USS Athena's structural integrity is failing and they're trapped by tractor beams? Do you recall that?
So it's like she basically goes into like saucer mode and is detaching the ship part or a portion of the ship away and just leaving the rest behind just to be able to try to get out of there. So I was like, damn, you can do that?
Yeah. You gotta watch Next Generation. You gotta watch Next Generation. So there's a saucer section and there's also a drive section. The saucer section in Next Generation, it only had impulse power. But remember, this is like years, like 800 years later. So even the saucer now has the ability to warp. But that's what she ordered, and they were able to get away. What was the simple personal word used as the encryption key that allowed Caleb to finally unlock his mother's messages?
I do not remember, but I know it had something to do with the moon, that was their moon. Because they did the flashback. But it was a simple word that they used when he was a
Anisha.
kid. Oh, it was her name. It was her name. But yeah, forgive me since I didn't get it back.
That's okay. That's okay.
To go back up.
All right. So let's go back to some of the thematic questions. So towards the end of the episode, this was said: they put us in the box and we're the only ones outside. All right, so this was what Chancellor Ake says. What are the thematic implications of the USS Athena being the only Federation ship trapped outside the new defensive wall?
Ooh. Okay. So the Athena is new in general, right? And so it's the only time they've done this experiment with these cadets, as far as I'm aware of, to this point. The Starfleet Academy with the War College and the Starfleet students or whatever. And so um, it's odd that they're the only ones that don't have contact, because you have the vulnerable population with you. You have these kids. So to me that part is odd. Not only that, it's just like it's another one of those situations to where you've been outfoxed by News Baraka yet again. And they were able to get you to basically get yourself trapped, so to speak. Um,
Are they trapped? And will that be able, the fact that they're outside, will that enable the Federation to break down the wall?
so from my understanding, like how the maneuver is designed, and I could be wrong in the way that I perceived it. Like if they try to go in, like you have landmine, landmine, landmine. Basically, you're gonna get blown up if you try to go back in. If they try to get to you, they're gonna get blown up. So essentially you have no support. They can't get to you, you can't get to them. So to me, they are trapped. Like, okay, where are you gonna go? Where can they go? I don't know. Like I was just like, oh my god.
So I don't know exactly how they're gonna get themselves out of it, but we've seen this before in Star Trek. I'm not gonna say many times, but several times before. The fact that they're outside is gonna actually work to their advantage. They're gonna figure some way to fool the wall itself, so that it crumbles, and the Federation will be able to withstand whatever it is that News Baraka has planned. What that looks like, I'm not certain, because this is new technology that we've not dealt with in the past as it relates to Star Trek. So I'm excited for whatever it is that they plan on doing. I know that the fact that they're outside is actually going to help. I want to circle back to kind of where we started. Um, and it deals with the theme of chosen family versus blood. Contrast the chosen family of Starfleet mentioned in the beginning of the episode with the biological family ties that drive the plot of this particular episode.
Ooh, okay. So the chosen family, we have the cadets um choosing each other to be family. Um, and so you have pressure placed on you by your family of origin versus your chosen family. They just grown to love you just as you are, for who you are, just how you came to the table, versus them trying to force anything on you per se. And so that, chosen family is vital, especially in a place like Starfleet Academy. With Caleb in particular, um, in fact, let me start with Jaden. With him in particular, you know, the close relationship he had with his own brother, and across these episodes, him kind of evolving and having his story told about how his brother was kind of tragically ripped from him, even being vulnerable enough to even let family in, was huge. And so a lot of them have these kind of mini stories with the chosen family versus their family of origin. With Mir, he's been gone from his mom for over 10, 11 years. But within these 300 days that he's been at Starfleet, he's has these unshakable bonds, with these other cadets. And so, um, whereas we appreciate the fact that he has his mother back in his life now, no matter how fleeting it may be. He still seeks to protect his chosen family of the Starfleet Cadets, which I'm glad he didn't just do the dick move and just kind of throw them under the bus and just dip out immediately. So there were a lot of different things at play for each different character, as far as their development goes with the chosen family and the family of origin. Sam has makers. Darum could never please his family. Genesis is insecure because of the high level of expectation on her. So just so many different things, but all bigger mission. Um, the ability to be able to choose your family is a blessing in and of itself.
Mhm. So for me, what I loved about this particular, when we think about the juxtaposition between chosen family and biological family, it was that at the end of the day, um, what I got from it was that chosen family is just as important, if not more important, than your blood family. Why? Yes, your blood family, they know you, they know you, they love you unconditionally, but it's that chosen family that they know you on that level where you were allowed to be free and express yourself in a way that your family never would have allowed you to express yourself. And that is probably why your chosen family is often more important to you than your biological family.
I love that. I love that. I would
Mhm.
agree.
All right. Is there anything that we missed from this particular episode?
It was a lot of science in on this episode. There was a lot of science happening. And whenever they got to the little planet, I was like, "Ah, this is dark, dusty, scary." Um, and I'm like, why they chose to beat up Daryl? They didn't want to hit the girls.
100%. 100. What I loved about that particular episode was he kept getting up. He kept getting up. Like, nah, you ain't gonna punk me. I'm gonna
Yes.
keep getting up. I love that. I love that. I love the fact that they were oh, on so many different levels. They were protecting each. Even Genesis was protecting him. There was like he was about to get hit a third time, and Genesis finally had to say something, right? And she did. So by saying that, she was protecting him. So no, she's not selfish, right? I like, and then the fact that um Caleb's mom saw in her son, this is who he is, this is who he has chosen. Let me help. Let me help. So she did that. And then when it became clear that something was going to happen to his friends, despite his mom helping, Caleb stood in the gap. And as you said before, he's so smart, he's so quick. He used his own he used his own communicator, and he recorded for the chancellor what was being said, so that everyone would know. And he said it in such a way where the chancellor was able to pick up, oh, he has found his mom. You know what I'm saying? So that whole little interplay, I was like, oh, it's perfect.
It was
It's perfect.
genius. I agree. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Like I said, there was so much happening and then threats all around and like my goodness. So you have a reunion, you have several infinite threats, you have teamwork, all the things happening simultaneously. And so yeah, it's an amazing episode for me.
Yeah, yeah. Make that a 10.
Uh I'm gonna go and say for me this episode was like a 9.7. I laughed. I wanted to cry. Not quite a 10, like just right at a 10. Like seriously, like right at a 10. But I'm just interested to see what is coming. And probably when I watch it for the second time, it might be a 10 by the time it's done. But I mean, I felt things. There were a lot of, as you mentioned, thematic things happening throughout the episode. Um, the science was there, the humanity was there. There were so many things happening. And so, yeah, 9.7.
So for me, I gave it a straight up 10, baby. I gave it a 10 for everything that you just named. 100%. I had to give it. And probably what so I got excited when I saw I so this particular episode, I've seen it. I saw it twice, right? First time I saw it, I had no clue who directed it. And then when I saw who directed it this time, I was like, of course. That's why this particular episode was so good, Jonathan Frakes. So Jonathan Frakes, he has been directing episodes of Star Trek since the Next Generation. Every iteration of Star Trek, save the original, he has directed episodes, and almost every episode that he directs is like one of fans' favorite episodes. And it made total sense to me why I love this particular episode so much. What he does is he pulls out the drama from his character, from the characters that he has to work with. He's like, no, you're not just gonna say these lines, you're gonna act these lines, you're gonna perform this shit, and you're gonna make us feel it. And I felt it, right? Like when he just said, Mom. I was ready. I was like, come on, let's go. It's time to go home. And I'm already home. It was just...
Yes. Action filled, emotion filled, drama, all the things. All the things. That's why I feel like that's why I said this episode to me went really, really fast. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad thing. It was just so much happening, but it made sense. Like, of course, Jaden would and Tarima would be stowaways in Athena because their friends are in danger. And of course they would do this. And
so the beginning of this particular episode, what was happening was they were, what's it called? Basically, they were in a simulation, right? And they were all on the bridge, and they had to work together, but they weren't working together. And what is going to be clear to me is that in the season finale, the next episode, which will air on this coming Thursday, they're going to have to basically be in those same chairs, basically, right? Because they got to fly the ship. And they've got to work together, and they're going to learn how to work together on the next episode. And I'm so excited for it.
I am
So
really,
excited.
really hoping that they do not disappoint me with episode 10. I'm looking forward to it as well because it's like we have gotten progressively better. So I'm looking forward to Thursday when it airs. I think it's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. All right. Well, I believe that's it. Okay. Until next time, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share on all your social media. Live long and prosper, my loves. Let me find this button.